It's the most wonderful time. I thought you guys would pick it up. You didn't pick it up.
The year.
Nope.
There it is.
I don't sing, my dude.
For the
I was
attempt.
a little bit late.
That brings
Just
up a
a
question that
tad
I have,
late.
which I feel like I know the answer to. So Dallas.
Wait. Let me finish the intro first.
Okay.
Just jumping the gun over here.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Creative Differences holiday season. I'm Dallas, and now that it's December, I will embrace Christmas like the rest of you people.
Okay. Actually, that brings up another point. So, if we're calling it the holiday season,
So you are calling
not the
in
Christmas season, what are we doing for that?
For the holiday season?
Because I will sit you down and make you watch all 3 hours of Fiddler on the Roof because I can't
Oh,
think of any other
let's
new
do
movies.
this. Also, the Rugrats Hanukkah special.
Yeah, I'm not watching Fiddler on the Roof, but I will watch the Rugrats thing or 8 Christmas.
Fiddler on the Roof
motherfucker.
is great.
I mean, I don't.
It's awesome.
I love it, but I don't know if I think I love it because I have to.
What?
You're a Jew in America. You have to like Fiddler on the Roof.
I didn't realize that was a requirement.
I think it kind of is.
I just really like.
But it doesn't mean
musical.
that like I'm gonna show it to Dallas and be like, "Yo, Dallas, this is gonna be your shit."
Hey,
like, no,
guys. Hey,
we
you
haven't
gonna
even
finish introducing yourselves?
No.
I was trying to get him. I said you are calling
Wait,
in, and he
who's
just wouldn't do it.
after? Who's after Colin? Who's after Dallas? Is it Colin?
Goodness
I haven't
gracious,
been here
doing
in a
my
while.
best.
You? Gabby, it's you.
Oh, I knew it. Okay. I'm Gabby, and I wanted to be Kevin McCallister when I was a kid.
I'm gonna come back to that later.
I'm Colin, and that tracks. Oh my god, that tracks. Like the discussions we've had about you as a person.
And hey, guys, guess who no longer has to keep account of how long it's been since all the hosts have been on Creative Differences podcast? Oh yeah, Merry Christmas to me.
And then she's gonna check out for the rest.
Wait,
of
what did the count get to?
video.
Did you add up the days like between now and the last one?
I didn't, but I'm pretty sure it's around like 56 or 57 or something.
Wow,
No, wait. We're gonna say it's 55.
that works too. Some average. I don't know. So, okay, one thing before. You know what? No, because we'll talk about him during characters. We can get to Gabby and that troubling statement she just made down the line. Today we're talking about Home Alone because the fans voted for it, and it turned 30 a few weeks ago because we're old.
Holy moly, we're so old.
Yes, we're old. The movie's old. It came out in 1990, 30 years ago.
That's like before we were born. I didn't realize it.
Yeah, a couple years before. And yeah, we posted a Twitter poll. The people voted Home Alone. It was close. I think Rise of the Guardians almost took it out.
Ugh, I wanted Rise of the Guardians
didn't
to
get
win
there.
so bad. You know what? We should just do
I mean,
it
we
anyway.
can still just do it. Like,
Yeah, we should definitely just do it.
We'll see. We have a calendar for these things. But you guys,
Yeah.
this is mostly... Never mind. Moving on.
This is the most chaotic intro ever.
Yeah, you come back and suddenly we just lose it.
Sounds about right.
Yes. But before we roast the entire McCallister family for reasons you'll get to.
boy.
Wait a minute. Please like and subscribe and such so we can get a following and start making merch because I think we'd make some dope merch.
Oh,
And everybody has
dude,
merch.
yeah.
Except for us.
Dude, oh God, all the weird phrases I say.
Oh, I'm not a furry is
Oh
definitely going
my
on the t-shirt.
God.
Stop it! No.
But there also has to be an Ukovu shirt. Wait,
yes.
will we get
Oh,
sued?
The same shirt. It's gonna be on the back.
Oh,
Anyway.
yes.
So, Home Alone.
Oh,
let's just get to it. Home Alone. I guess I'll give the summary first because
Dude, we discussed this.
I
When
don't
did you
wanna-
first see this movie? And then
I
you
don't-
give the summary during the story section.
I guess that's fine.
chaotic AF.
Okay, so Demi doesn't remember the movie. That's why she said she wasn't going to be in it. She lied. Do you guys remember the first time you watched the movie?
No, I was
No.
so young, but I know that it was probably like when it was like on TV and we watched it as a family and like all of us were cackling with joy.
To be honest, I don't know that I have seen it. Like, this might be one of
What?
those movies that because I've heard so much about, I thought I had seen it, and I just don't know. I really have no idea.
Did you watch it prior to this?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
No, I mean, like,
you mean?
did you,
I'm
when-
sorry. Like, in preparation for this podcast?
Yeah, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so that might have been your first time.
I really don't know. Yeah.
Word. Yeah, I don't know. I don't either. I just remember when I was a kid, one day on TV, I saw Home Alone 3.
Oh,
and-
Home Alone 3 came out when we were kids and it was amazing.
Yeah, we were like, I think it came out in 95. And I thought that kid was the Home Alone kid. So when I first saw this one, I was like, yo, where's Max Keeble at? Who is this little blonde boy? And then everyone else in the world was like, no, you idiot. This is the main one. Like, the third one doesn't even count. And I was very confused.
The third one definitely counts though, but I feel like it only
Yeah.
counts because it came out when we were kids and we were like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, it counts for you because you were born in 92 and you probably grew up with it.
Yeah.
But none of that matters because we're talking about the first one.
Woo!
I appreciate the enthusiasm. All right, story. Now is the part where I tell you who did what and who did where and who did who. Never mind, not that.
Yeah.
The movie is directed by Chris Columbus. He
Of
made-
Harry Potter fame.
Yes, Harry Potter 1 and 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, Pixels, etc.
Oh God, Pixels.
Yeah, I knew someone was going to say that.
What a
Just
fall
every
from
time.
grace.
Every time you
He
mention
also made the other fantastic Christmas movie, Rent.
What?
Did
Hold on.
he?
Oh yeah, he did make Rent.
Oh, he has the range.
He has so much range. And apparently he wrote because I watched the movies that made us. Home Alone is one of them on Netflix. And he apparently was like a writing prodigy in the 80s. He wrote like The Goonies. He wrote a bunch of classic movies from the 80s.
Wow, that's really impressive.
Yeah, he's great.
Written by John Hughes, the guy who made 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, all those 80 movies that white people love so much. John Hughes.
Yeah.
Stars Macaulay Culkin, Joe Pesci, Daniel Stern, who is the other wet bandit, Catherine O'Hara.
Yeah.
O'Hara. Catherine.
She's great.
Kate. Now for the summary. An 8-year-old psychopath, just kidding. It says, an 8-year-old troublemaker must protect his house from a pair of burglars when he is accidentally left home alone by his family during Christmas vacation.
Yay.
Yes. So that's the summary. When we get to characters, I will discuss why I said psychopath.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but we're not there
I
yet.
feel
We're doing
like-
story.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, you feel like. But
Oh
we
my
know who
God.
you are, so.
Excuse me.
Anyway.
Yes. So the story, you guys like it?
We do. Or I do. I thought it was great.
Colin, do you like this movie? Let's just get that out of the way first.
I don't know. I don't, like, it doesn't bother me. And there was nothing about it like, well, that's not true, I guess. I don't know. I don't think I like it, but I don't think I dislike it. I think it is just there. What I don't understand is why people love it. I completely don't get that.
It's definitely the slapstick comedy.
Which slapstick isn't my thing, but it's less that for me and more just, I do not like these people. Like, I'm not, we'll get there, but just like,
I think our character section is going to be a long one.
Yeah.
But yeah, story wise, it's Christmassy. It's just we're faced with this terrible family, and we
Are
have
they
to.
really that bad? I feel like they're just
Yes, like almost
Mhm.
all of them.
they're
Maybe
just
the
like
little kid is not,
But even-
the one who pees the bed, but like everybody else.
Oh, that kid is
Kieran
a-
Culkin.
Yeah, Wallace.
Yeah,
from
that's
Scott Pilgrim.
Wallace from Scott Pilgrim.
That's
That's
crazy.
his
Oh,
first
cool.
movie. And he didn't know what he was doing. Like, he just showed up on the day and they were like, yes, you're going to be in this movie. And he was like, cool.
That sounds about right for this movie. Like, stuff just happens. Like, the amount of things that have to happen for him to be left home alone.
It wasn't that many things.
It's not the amount. To me, it's not the number of things that has to happen. It's the complete lack of like checking themselves. Like, okay, you have
that's
the girl
probably a better way to
count the
put it.
heads, and she counts at the extra kid, and then he disappears. Whatever. Okay, then you get to the airport, and I feel like if you don't. Okay, maybe you don't have to do a count again because obviously, what are they gonna duck and roll?
I feel like the whole
once you
point
get
is
their
they were
security-
late. So they were like, we don't have, like, they were like, okay, we got the right count. Okay, let's get
that's
out of
fine.
here. We
But
got
once you get to the
go.
gate, I feel like you make sure you do a final head count because maybe a kid saw a toy or some shit. Like, come on.
When they're pulling up when they're pulling up the gate and they're about to leave, like, no, they got there at the last possible second. I feel like it's definitely believable that he would get left behind, especially since like
I do not.
they
Okay, I'm just gonna-
established that he was like a little bit like he required like people to look after him a lot more than everyone else did,
And yet,
and that like his
no one sees
mom-
him the entire
Okay, but
morning.
also
and no one
here's the
thinks that's
thing.
odd.
because
He was the
everyone's running
only one
around the entire morning.
upstairs. He was the only one on the third floor because they didn't send the kid with him because the kid would pee his bed. So it's like, how, as the parent who sent him upstairs, do you not remember? Oh,
That's
One
the
of them is
thing.
still upstairs.
Because
That's the
they're
thing,
running
though.
around all morning.
Okay.
Like, it's a very
Gabby,
reasonable thing.
We can't
No,
just keep
no.
saying they're running around. That excuses the fact that they don't love their son.
You can run
That's
around,
not true.
but you
What?
don't lose track of
Like-
your
I'm
child
sorry,
so
coming
much
from-
that you fly all the way to France without him.
Yeah, I had parents who cared about me,
No.
so it's kind of hard for me to believe.
What are you talking about? Like, they
Oh,
were
shit.
late, and there was like 15
That
people
was
in
real
the
good.
house. Like,
There were 15 people in the house. So the mother who had an argument with her son the night before decided, nah, I'm not going to check on him, see if he's okay. Talk to him, acknowledge his existence.
Make sure that he's in the car.
Neither of his parents had seen him the entire day, up to the point where they're
entire day.
like late into the flight, and none of them thought that was odd. None of them mentioned it. None of them thought about it. No one in the family thought about the fact that they hadn't seen Kevin. He has 4 siblings.
he has 4 siblings. I thought it
Yes.
was just like, listen,
I couldn't tell who
No,
were
I,
his
like,
siblings
bought
and who were
it.
like
How
cousins.
can
but
you
whatever.
justify this?
I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying it's okay that they
Sorry, I
left
don't
him.
mean
I'm saying that
justify,
I
like-
can. I'm saying that I can. I can like acknowledge that they like there was a lot going on that morning, and then there was like this extenuating circumstance where there was this random kid that got thrown in, and he got counted. So then and then they were like running to the gate. So it's like no, like it's completely reasonable that they would have forgotten.
It is so unreasonable. It is
It's
so
not, though.
unreasonable.
It's not though. Like I've been in a
Gabby, did you
house
fly-
with like
Gabby.
a whole mess of people.
Gabby, did you fly a lot when you were a kid?
No.
Have you ever
Well-
flown with your parents?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
did you ever
only
go
the
through
4 of us.
airport
It wasn't
without
like
your parents seeing your face at any point?
no,
Ooh.
but also I
'Cause that
haven't
doesn't
flown
happen.
with like
Ooh,
15
because
billion
also,
people with like
wouldn't you,
13
like,
kids.
That
at
doesn't
least
There
matter.
was
make
only
sure that
4
once you
adults.
got on the plane,
there
like
was
your kids
11
were situated.
kids. Where like everybody was running around. I have flown with like the marching band, and I'll tell you, at least once during every trick we would lose somebody at some point.
That doesn't matter unless you're going to tell me that your parents were in charge of that trip.
They weren't. But like there was still like there was people that were like, "Oh my god, I'm in charge of other people's kids." And that's basically what's also going on in this movie. There was only 4 adults and there was 11 kids.
Right.
Because
So
there was 15 people in the house, right?
Kevin's parents have 5. They're in charge of those kids. There are other adults there, like Uncle Frank, who's terrible. You know what?
Yeah, he's the literal worst.
Let's just.
We should probably move
All
on.
right, I'm gonna
Look,
say this.
all I'm
In the-
saying is like it's like you wouldn't want that to happen. This is like a worst case scenario kind of deal.
Yeah,
But I'm saying that like in terms of believability, it's believable. like
Yeah,
I'm
Alright.
not saying that they're
Mm.
good parent, like whatever. I'm saying that this is believable plot. Have as a person that's been in a house with like a fuck ton of people that has to move a bunch of people, and that's also been on trips overseas with a bunch of people with a bunch of kids. Like this is a completely like believable plot point is what I'm saying.
audience, let us know in the comments if A, you believe that this is reasonable, or B, you had a family that cared about you.
That's not
Character.
fair.
Characters.
That's really judgy.
So everyone is trash, including Kevin.
Yo, oh my, no,
They
I'm sorry,
kinda-
that's not technically true.
No.
I
I'm
would
sorry,
argue
everyone in the
that-
family is trash.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Oh no, not old
Thank
man
you, thank
Marley.
you. Cool. Okay.
Oh
Just
man,
so we're
I
Marley's
clear.
have some stuff to say
great.
about him too.
He's very
Okay, that's
sweet.
fair.
I wanted to
You know
hug him
what?
the
That's
whole
fair. I
time.
do have some issues with him.
Okay, you know what? I'll get that away now because I
Okay.
don't have a whole lot of issues with
Go
old
ahead.
man Marley. But
Okay.
he sees Kevin what 2 or 3 times before he speaks to him for the first time,
Just about,
Yeah.
yeah.
and every time he sees this child, he stares at him like a serial killer.
Okay,
says
exactly.
nothing,
Like, dude,
and then
'cause
just
that's the
looks at
thing
him.
Is,
I think
I
he's
was
probably just
watching the
really
movie,
awkward because he has
and
that
it's
like
like-
reputation in the neighborhood, and he's like, you know what, I shouldn't be approaching this kid.
right, but
That's
at
the
the
thing.
same time,
That's the thing,
when he
though.
does choose to approach him in a church, like it's like, dude,
Yeah,
you
in a
didn't
church
have
it's safe, you know.
why is that safer?
Not
Because,
safe outside my own house. Like
What?
I'm.
like you're at a church, and I feel like at that point he was trying to figure out, is Kevin alone? Is he by himself?
Okay, so one of the
But,
things I wanted
like-
to say during the story portion that we didn't get to because we argued about the logistics of this movie is the amount
This
of
one was
times
just it.
that Kevin doesn't
that the
tell anybody
system-
his situation.
Right.
Oh my
He
god,
interacts
yeah.
with so many adults in this movie.
Well, I think it's because he thinks he made his family disappear. That's the thing, right? He thinks he
Right.
like conjured
But then
them
why wouldn't you
away.
tell somebody, oh shit, I made my family disappear, and they'd be like, no, you didn't. We'll figure this out, and then you figure it
Exactly.
out.
My
Because-
family's gone.
Like the first couple days, I get it because you're like, oh man, my family's gone. I can do whatever. But once that wears off, and you realize, oh, I want my family back.
I don't know, but also this movie takes place over the course of like 2 days. So it's also
that's not.
that
He
like
did
eventually
technically
Kevin
tell
was
one
going
person, but he told that Santa who didn't care.
to, yeah,
Told
And he
Santa, I
also
think
did-
which
Santa
was like,
saying-
what are you doing?
he was like, whoa, what's going on with this kid? But you know, I got a thing to go to.
He's-
But
he cared more about the thing than like the kid that told him he's all alone.
once Kevin hears the plan, he knows the bandits are coming back at 9 p.m. They gave him the time.
Well, my question is, why didn't
He didn't
call
tell
the
anybody.
police? Why didn't he call the police? Why didn't he tell old man whatever the fuck?
That's
Well,
what I'm saying.
he
Tell
did
old man
call the
Marley, oh, some
police,
dudes
but
are coming
not
back to my
until
house
they
tonight
were
to rob it.
there.
What?
He did call the police, but not until they were there.
Right.
It's like, dude, what are you doing?
They gave you a head start. They were like, yo, we'll be back at 9. So, you know, we'll link up.
Also, what I don't understand is these robbers that saw somebody was home and just like decided they still wanted to come back. Like, what is like? Come on, man. There's witnesses now.
They don't mind killing a child. It's whatever.
Apparently,
Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about characters, and we're just going all over the place.
I mean, those are characters. But yeah,
I know
Old Man
that.
Marley's a weirdo because
Yep.
he's not awkward. When he talks to Kevin, they have a completely normal conversation.
oh yeah, he's a
Which
perfectly
he could have had at
reasonable
any
dude.
point instead of just staring him down.
Especially like in the store when he's by himself,
the
you just
worst
slam
one.
your bloody hand on the. Also, why was his hand bloody?
We never find out.
because he's
I
old.
know. It's
I
terrible.
know.
What?
Hands
You
don't
think
just
old people
spontaneously
just
bleed when
bleed?
you become old. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah, you know, once you hit
I mean,
like
you
70,
might
you just
you might
boom.
just get injured real easy. And like my grandma used to get hurt a lot before she just didn't do anything anymore. Both my
I
grandmas.
could see like he be shoveling and stuff. I could see him hurting his hand.
All right, okay.
But also, Kevin was in front of you in the line, sir.
Oh yeah, what the
Jump in
fuck?
front of Kevin, slam your bloody hand on the counter,
Right.
and then just stare at him until he runs
Well,
away. in
no,
fear.
Kevin wasn't necessarily like in front of. Kevin was like waiting for them to check on if this like
Right, but he was at
if
the
this
counter.
toothbrush
talking
was
to the
approved
woman
by
who
the
works there.
American Dental Association.
Yeah. So I'm talking to the woman. Wait your turn, creepy man. But
I guess.
Kevin, Gabby earlier said that when she was young, she wanted to be Kevin McCallister.
Yeah, I want to be like home in charge of myself.
Gabby has also
and
said in the past that all children are psychopaths.
they are.
So that tracks. When Gabby was a psychopath, she wanted to be a psychopath.
I feel like this is. I don't know. I feel like this. You're putting a lot. I don't know. This is like a movie with a child in it. He was applying
Yes.
child logic to his situation.
He was
No,
applying,
Also-
I
he's
just killed
not.
my
He's
entire
applying
family. I'm hyped.
His
Let's
logic
go.
to the
Well,
situation.
not like
I would not have done any of the shit that he did. Like,
That's true,
I'm
but we
sorry,
were
you're
much
just
more
gonna lump
pragmatic
all
children.
children together. Like, oh yeah, any child would decide to hit a dude in the head with an iron. Any child would decide to hit these guys in the head with paint cans, like probably causing brain damage. Like,
But
no,
also
I'm
before-
sorry.
No, those men should have died from those fake games.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah,
they
he
should.
murdered those dudes.
Like they
But-
should have died. Like the reason they didn't die is because this is a family movie, and
Yeah.
that was
Right,
the slapstick
right.
part of the comedy for the family movie.
But like even putting aside the war crimes, as Colin calls them, like the stuff he says to his parents is
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, that's
man.
like some stuff that you can get away
was
with
one
when
of
you're
those
like
things
a
I
little white
wish
boy.
that I had
Like
been
a
watching like
little
with
white
you,
boy.
Dallas, because I knew you would have said something about it.
Oh, I almost turned the movie off when he told his mom, "Get off the phone and make me." Why don't you?
Oh
Right?
my
I was like, yo, nah.
God.
She should have slid him for that. Like she
Our
should have
mothers
with the
would
phone.
have.
It was ridiculous. And he calls her a dummy. I'm like, yo, no slaps for this kid? Not one backhand? Like
This is this.
Mrs. McCallister, you ain't
this is
got
a
one right
family
hook in
movie,
you.
Dallas.
It would have been a family beatdown.
Oh no, like we would have gotten our asses beat for that.
Speaking of
But,
people,
like not Kevin McCallister.
yeah, speaking of people who need their ass beat, Uncle Frank,
He was
What the
horrible. What the
is
fuck is
this
wrong
man?
with this
Oh my
man?
god.
Over some spilled milk? Like I remember seeing that bit when I was a kid and I was like and then now as an adult I was like, what? So he spilled some milk. Like what?
and he jumps up and is like, look what you did, you little
Also,
jerk.
like,
And
milk
like the
is
mom
not
wanted
the
to get rid of
thing
that milk
that they-
anyway. Like, ugh. She was like, drink it because we're going out of town. And like
He's like, "Look what you did, you little jerk!" And Kevin's dad doesn't
he doesn't like tell
square
his
up with this dude
brother like
immediately.
you need to calm down. He is a child.
Kevin's dad should have knocked him out, just like Kevin's mom should have knocked Kevin out. The whole family's garbage, and I see why Colin doesn't really rock with this movie like that.
It doesn't. I don't know. It's not that bad.
Like the movie's not that bad. It does
I
get
feel
better
like
when the
all of
bandits show
this,
up.
I guess. And like he's, or what do you call it? I just like how clever this child is, even though like they didn't need to stoop or go down to these lengths, because he could have just called the police. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
and also these bandits were dumb for like seeing that somebody was home and then just deciding that they were still wanting to rob this house, even though this kid never
It's
left the
also
house.
like
So it's
okay,
just
so
like
that's something that
dumb.
I was thinking about. So I don't know their names. They have names, but I don't care.
The bandits?
Yeah,
They're
Harry and Marv.
Marv and Harry.
Marv is which one is which?
The
Harry
tall one
is-
is Marv.
Yeah, Harry
Thank
is
you.
Joe Pesci.
Okay, so Harry cases the joint at the beginning of the movie,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but he stands in the front room and doesn't go anywhere. So all of his talk about this is the golden tuna, or silver tuna, whatever he called it, was mostly conjecture. So they
Well-
put in so much effort, not even knowing that there'd be a great reward in this house.
I mean, I guess
Have
he's
you
just
seen the house?
going off
I'm
what
like,
he
"Oh."
saw inside when he was standing there for like an
I
hour.
mean, I guess, but once you get in there and this child tries to kill you repeatedly,
Well,
I think you cut your losses.
Well, I feel like at the beginning they were just trying to get in the house, and at the end it's like, "Fuck this kid! I'm gonna fuck him up because he fucked me up."
Yeah, it went from a robbery to a murder.
Yeah, it
were trying
went
to kill
from
that boy.
like, yeah, they were just like really mad at him, and they were like, "I'm gonna get him now because I'm gonna get him." It's no longer about the robbery.
Yeah, they were, someone throws an iron at your face.
A
gotta
hot
go.
iron too.
I'm just gonna leave.
Yeah, I would have left. Like as soon as like I can't get in this house, I'm like, you know what? I'm cutting my losses. But honestly, as soon as I see that there's a person still in this house, I'd be like, nah, I guess I'm not robbing this place. I'm gonna rob the 6 other houses on this block that are empty and just as big and leave.
Yeah, honestly, they should have just hit them other licks and then, all right, someone's here, let's leave. They went back to the house so many times. They almost
They
died
went
in there.
back too much.
It was
like,
at a certain point, Kevin leaves them alone in the house.
Yeah.
And they don't take anything. They just like, let's go get
no,
him.
because
Like,
at that point they're mad and they want to get Kevin. They're like, this is no longer about the trinkets. This is
That's why
about
they
this
went to
kid
prison.
needs to die.
because they were dumb.
Yeah, they were about to
Took their eyes
they were
off the
like
ball.
threatening. They got caught threatening a child that was home alone. Also, this police department is incompetent AF because the mom tried to tell them. What I don't get is like how you so the family told you he's home alone and then this police officer just doesn't double check. Like what is wrong with
That
this
made me so
place?
mad. He went
I
and
was
knocked
like,
on the
what?
door.
Yeah.
And
He
then nobody
rang the
answered. He was like,
doorbell, but
nobody's
Nobody
here.
answered.
even
He's like,
then,
this was a
like,
prank call. Like, no, it wasn't, dude. Like,
why don't
they called
you-
you
'cause-
from France.
I'm also pretty sure he didn't like call out and say, "Hey, this is Officer so and so." Like if he
Yeah,
tried,
He never announced
exactly.
himself.
Yeah, he never announced himself. He also just went to one door. Like, it was like just the adults in this movie were so incompetent.
Yeah,
which
the
I
adults
guess
are-
they kind of have to be, but like,
No,
it
I know for the
sucks.
plot to move forward. And that's also the thing is just like, I'm like, the point of this is to get the robbers in the house so this kid can fuck with them. That's the whole point of this movie. And it's also so that we can watch Kevin, like, you know, be a nicer person because he's alone and he misses his family eventually. So, like, yes, that's the point. So, like,
Yes.
am I going to suspend my disbelief for a little bit? Yeah.
And that's my whole thing is that you just have to acknowledge there's a lot of disbelief to suspend, which I guess not as much for you, but I already posed the question to the audience so they can let us know.
But like they just made it
No,
so
they
that
didn't.
it worked and it worked. And I was like, fine, this works enough.
We gotta
I know.
stop talking about this. We're never gonna come.
Yeah, we
to
can
a
get, we
consensus.
can get off of that. So visuals and sound, the movie looks like Christmas.
And John Williams did the score. I was like trying to figure out why this movie sounded so much like the first Harry Potter movie, like mystical, magical with like the bells and stuff. And it was
Yeah.
John Williams. And like, boy, can that dude make a Christmas score.
Yeah. And then he came back later and Chris Columbus was like, yo, you still got those scores? And he was like, yeah, I got you. Let me mix it up a little bit. Let's make a Harry Potter movie.
Yep,
And it worked.
it did.
But other than that, I don't have a whole lot to say about the video. It's just like, it's a bunch of white people in Christmas.
Yeah. Although, okay, so I learned that because I watched the movies that made us. So the house for this movie was actually just a set that they built inside a high school gymnasium. So that made me just be like, wow, the set design for this is like they really like they mentioned that like the whole house, because it's Christmas, the whole house had to be green or red.
Yeah.
And so that's also why it just felt very like Christmassy. And then like the only thing that they said that wasn't like green or red was like the tile in the kitchen. And then the set at the very end where he's like in that garage that's like flooded, that was built in the pool of the high school. And it's the same high school they used for like all of the 80s movies. Like it's in Chicago and it's like the school for Ferris Bueller and like 16 Candles and all that. They filmed Home Alone in that high school.
Interesting. I never would have known that. I thought it was just a big ass house.
No, yeah, that's what I thought. And it was like, no, they like went through Chicago, looked for a really nice, cozy looking mansion on the outside. And then they realized the house was too small on the inside to actually film in, because this was back when they had to use like film cameras and all that. And they needed a lot of light and a lot of space. And so they were like, okay, we'll build a set. And then they built the set at the high school that John Hughes liked to work and film at. And that's that.
There's your fun fact for the day, people.
Yeah. So in terms of like production design, there was like a lot for this movie, all things considered.
Colin,
Me.
you got any thoughts about the visuals and or the sound?
Not really. Like, this is one of those movies that, because I don't really know filmmaking, like techniques and stuff, this is one of those movies that's just like, yeah, they did what they had to do to make the movie, and there's nothing in it that makes me go, oh, they tried something. It's just like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Christmas. Red and green. Fair.
Also, apparently this movie was like known for its stunts in like the stunt performing world. And now, like, if you take a big dive, like the way that they were doing all over the movie, they call it doing a Home Alone. So that's also kind of neat.
That's cute. I mean, it makes sense. So many death-defying things happen to those bandits.
Yeah, those poor bandits, but also dumb bandits, because they should have not tried to hit that house.
Yeah, it was on them. I have to bring this up. You guys have heard the theory that Kevin grows up to be the Jigsaw Killer, right?
What?
Have you not heard
Let's
that?
play a game.
I don't think
No,
so.
I haven't.
Yeah. It's
But also,
like a fan
Jigsaw's
theory.
old.
Jigsaw
Well,
is super old. Kevin will
Yeah,
eventually
I
be old.
mean,
Yeah,
he
but,
will
like,
get there.
How old was he's whatever age Macaulay Culkin is now, like in his mid-30s?
He's 40. But yeah, the timelines don't add up at
He's
all.
40?
This movie came out 30 years ago.
And oh my God, he's so old. Like, I didn't know Macaulay Culkin was that much older than us.
I mean, 2 years before we were born, he was in Home Alone.
Oh my God.
Put things into
He's
perspective.
40.
He's 40.
Oh my God. So weird.
But yeah, that's the theory because, he's a little psychopath and he's weirdly good at setting traps and death.
I just
Was
want
that
to
not
point
weird
out
for
that
you?
I just want to point out that I really
are you?
love that when we did the throwback for Toy Story, Dallas was making the argument that Sid is not a psychopath. But here we are talking about Home Alone, where everybody's rooting for this kid,
I'm
and
sorry.
this kid is the psychopath.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
She
You said
that
everybody
when we
was
did-
rooting for this kid? Who
Kevin.
who is rooting for this child? Because I
Well,
sure as
audience
fuck
is
was
meant to
not.
root for him.
Oh, honey, no.
But I do want to address that because I thought about it when I was talking about
I was
Kevin-
rooting for him.
how
I
Kevin
didn't
has
want
no
him to
emotions.
get hurt. Child.
Well, you're you, so.
That's not cool.
I mean, we're going off your statements. But
Oh my God.
Sid, as we established, was, doing things to toys that he thought were inanimate objects. And Kevin is clearly taking joy in inflicting pain upon other people, human people, because he
Yeah,
has
because
no
they were
emotions.
coming for him, or he thought they were coming for him, and he couldn't
But
turn to
there's
anyone
see
else.
the thing about
He could have
Kevin,
turned to someone
right?
else. He just decided he'd rather torture them.
The thing about
Yeah,
Kevin
I
is
don't
like
know. I
there's
don't know if he
levels to
thought
it.
he could, right?
No-
Because remember, he stole the toothbrush, so he's like, "I'm a criminal." So in his little
Okay.
head, now he can't go.
Oh my God,
and
he
then
really
also,
is a criminal.
like, he made his
My name
family
is so good.
disappear.
Here's my thing about Kevin though, is that if you argue that, okay, I have to do this myself because I'm a criminal, yada yada yada, right? Okay, that's fine. But all you need to do is get these guys out of the house, and however you do that is however you do that. But he's like, no, I'm gonna hurt them. I like to hurt people.
Yeah, he's
I
like
just
a wasp.
like it.
I don't know about that.
He is a psychopath.
He can keep swinging.
He can keep swinging because he does call the cops later when he's had his fun. So let's not pretend like oh my God, you can't call the cops. He calls them. He was
But
just
also,
like, I'm
and
going to
that
get the
is
torture
so
off first.
insidious in and of itself because he calls them to the house across the street, knowing that he's going to like hang glide over
Lure
there,
them over
knowing
there.
that they're going to follow him, knowing that he's luring them into this situation. Like he is a villain.
Yes.
Yes, I don't
Yes. He's a villain. They're villains. The movie's just a bunch of villains and incompetent parents. But yeah,
Oh,
all that being said,
very
Colin, what's your favorite thing about this movie?
Okay, my favorite thing about this movie, honestly, straight up, the mom's shoulder pads. Oh my god,
What?
I could not get over them every single
they were
scene.
great though. I remember just thinking the mom's clothes were pretty
She was
good.
looking
But
like Kingpin and
also,
Into the Spider-Verse. Like, girl, what are you
Goodness
doing?
gracious.
it was the 90s / late 80s, Colin. Okay, the 80s were known for the shoulder pads. Okay,
No, I know, but like that doesn't mean I have to like them.
that's
It's just
true.
like
But
when
I'm just
she's in
saying,
frame,
like,
I'm not looking at anything else. I'm looking at them shoulders.
great. Ugh, Catherine
So you-
O'Hara was amazing.
She's great. She's Sally from Nightmare Before or After, the Christmas movie, right?
Oh, she
What?
is. I didn't know that. All
think-
I like everybody recently knows her from Schitt's Creek. Oh, Moira Rose is amazing and hilarious.
Yeah, she plays Sally in Nightmare Before Christmas. But also, yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons of Schitt's Creek the other day,
It's freaking
and she's great.
fantastic. I love Schitt's Creek.
Gabby, what's your favorite thing about this movie?
The whole movie, I don't know. I just love this movie. I grew up with it. We used to watch it with my family. My mom was like still learning English when we watched this movie. So it was like it was like the one movie that she didn't like that she could watch because it was just like slapstick is very easy to follow. And the comedy was just like, it's kind of universal because it's slapstick.
Speaking of that, Universal, how do you say psychopath in Spanish?
Psicopata.
I guess that makes sense. I was going to ask if
But,
your favorite thing about this movie is Kevin's lack of remorse.
I feel like Kevin thought he was in a particular position. And then at that point, it was just like a bunch of people that were like, how can we mess these robbers with these robbers using like this child as the like little mastermind? But also like, I like that Kevin was so clever at the beginning. So like even just like before he like set up all these traps, like when he was like just trying to keep them away from the house at the beginning, like the first thing he did was like he ran up, he turned on the porch light so then they couldn't go in. And I
That
was
was
like,
smart.
wow, as a child, I would not have thought of that. And it's so simple. And then later when like he knew that they were gonna come by the house, he like had a whole party going, right? So it made it look like, there was a bunch of people there.
See, why
And I
not
was like,
just
wow,
do
that's
that
clever.
again?
Well,
But
because he
like
overheard
switch it
them
up.
saying they were going to come back anyway, right? So
Colin,
Yes,
he didn't do that again because of his bloodlust.
that is
No.
true.
He
He
wanted to kill
realized
these
that
men.
that wouldn't get them in the house and that he couldn't destroy them. So
Because all Gabby is doing is establishing the fact that there are nonviolent ways that Kevin could have handled the situation.
Well, he did. He tried, and then
Yeah.
they were like, "We're coming
Then he
back
got
anyway."
bored and he was like,
Shh.
time to.
But
for
also,
them to
like,
die.
it was less like he got bored, like, because the whole movie was like showing like Kevin at the beginning was like this kid that like needed everything done for him by everybody around him, and then by the end of the movie, he's like doing his own laundry. He's going to this basement that he's afraid of, that he's originally really afraid of. He's like going to the grocery store and buying like groceries, and he's using coupons. Like there's like character growth in terms of like him going from like he couldn't even pack his own suitcase to now he's like picking up groceries for the family or like for himself, right?
the problem I have with this, yes, is that he's growing and he's becoming a person who can do things for himself, and that's wonderful. But he decides with his newfound confidence that what he wants to do for himself is kill.
But he didn't actually kill.
He
And like
wants
in
to.
real life, he would, yeah, that would have killed those people. Like if we were going real life, yeah, those pain buckets alone.
Yeah.
When that needle goes through that guy's like foot, I was like, oh no, I had to look away. But like I don't know, it's just a slapstick Christmas movie, and I feel like this is a lot. Like we're reading a lot into slapstick movie.
If you're going to turn a kid into a domestic terrorist, you have to deal with the commentary that comes with that.
What?
It's also weird. Like, that's a weird level of character growth for me. Like, I don't know how to pack a suitcase, but I can set death traps like nobody's business.
Apparently he can. That was like wild to me, but like you could tell there was some degree of cleverness just from, but they established like that there was some degree of cleverness to him, right?
Yeah, he's a clever kid. But yes, I say all that to say my favorite thing about this movie is, okay, two things. Probably Harry, to be honest. Harry was really fun. Like the way he looked at Marv, because Marv is an idiot, But like, I don't know. Joe Pesci's just really funny.
Marv should have been protected. Harry was like great. He was the straight man.
Yeah, and he was great at it. He was really funny. And the cameo from John Candy was really good too.
John Candy. Apparently, they only paid him like $400. It was like a 23-hour day that he was there. He was there for one day. It was 23 hours, and he got paid less than the pizza boy got paid.
Who is
You
this
know,
man?
John Candy.
I
Uncle
don't-
Buck?
know.
That's
who
not
that
gonna.
is.
The name doesn't help. John Candy
Oh,
is the dude who was like, "Oh, we can give you a ride." In
Oh,
our
the Polka
van."
dude?
Polka Man,
Yeah,
Polka King,
Oh, okay.
Polka King, Chicago.
And all that stuff was like improvised. And he had worked with like Catherine O'Hara in like this sketch troupe in Canada. Like that's where he got his fame. So like they'd worked together before, and he was like an improvisation king. So like all the scenes where all those bits that he does where he's like naming all the songs that his group's done and all that stuff, like that was improvised.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it's great. I love him.
They're apparently doing this again. They're rebooting it.
No.
Oh, right. Yeah,
They've
that's
made
the
like
thing.
5 of them.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I thought they stopped at 3,
No, there's
but
a
there are
lot.
like 5.
But it's
and
just like
they just keep coming.
why?
Money.
I guess. Is Disney doing it? Because it sounds like something Disney would do.
Yeah, it's gonna be on
where
Disney
they
Plus.
would, like, reboot it just for money reasons.
But the cast looks
Disney.
pretty cool. It has I don't know who
Who's-
Archie Yates is. He's a child, but it has Ellie Kemper and Rob Delaney.
As the parents, probably.
Yes, they're somebody's parents.
Yo, Archie Yates is fantastic though.
I don't know who is that.
You've never seen Jojo Rabbit, but he's JoJo's friend in Jojo
Oh my
Rabbit.
god, he's so cute. I love him. Oh my god. Oh, he was so great. Oh, if he's gonna be the Kevin McCallister, then I'm down.
He's not Kevin. It's a different kid, but he is the kid.
Huh? I mean, it's a different name, but like he's gonna play the kid.
Yeah, he's gonna be the kid, I believe.
Oh, he's so great. He's like 11 or 12 years old and just like a sweet little adorable. He was
wait.
great. And Jojo Rabbit.
I forgot I wrote down the friggin' little pitch. It says the story sees Kemper and Delaney play a wife and husband who, in order to save their home from financial ruin, go to war with a kid who has stolen a priceless heirloom. So
Wait. What?
So that's worse than Kevin McCallister.
No. He doesn't attempt murder. He steals. Kevin is a
Kevin
murderer.
was provoked. This seems like this child like went in and just took something from them.
Colin,
What's up, dude?
what's worse, theft or murder?
No,
No
it's
question, murder.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Oh my god! But like these people, ugh, it's terrible. He
Yes,
was
murder is
like,
terrible.
this just seems like this other kid is more of a psychopath because he went in and stole something from his neighbors, and now his neighbors are like, okay, we need it back.
Okay,
Versus
but did he,
Kevin, that
I don't
was
know
like,
if I'd call
I
that
should
psych-
defend my home.
Like, I don't know. Did he go in to steal it, like the intention of like, I'm gonna steal this thing, or was he a kid in a house and saw a shiny thing and went, ooh, I want that?
Either way, he shouldn't have taken it. Like this.
I mean, he shouldn't have,
like,
sure,
they're just trying to get their stuff back.
but I would
Gabby.
not say that right off the
It's like
top that makes
Kevin
him worse than
McCallister,
Kevin
who's,
McCallister.
Like, left him alone.
Gabby,
What?
Kevin sets a man on fire in this movie.
Okay, and that's why
You're gonna
my
tell
name
me.
in this call is
great.
War Crimes the movie, because
so
using a
hilarious.
flamethrower on civilians is a war crime.
Dallas, I have a question for you. Did you see who's writing this movie?
Yes.
Who's
Oh
writing
yeah, I'll
it?
get to all that. First off, it's directed by Dan Mazer, or Mazer, I don't
Who?
know. Sorry. He wrote Borat, Bruno, Office Christmas Party.
Oh,
Ooh,
no.
I'm probably gonna have to skip this one then.
I figured you weren't gonna watch it
I don't
anyway.
think I'm gonna like this.
And he directed Dirty Grandpa, in case that helps. I bet it doesn't.
Oh wow.
But it was written by Mikey Day and
Who?
Streeter
Oh.
Sidell or Seidel. I don't know.
Oh,
Mikey
it would
Day.
have been better if it was. Oh, okay. Mikey
Mikey
Day from
Day.
SNL.
Yeah, he was on Wild 'N Out for a while, and then he graduated to Saturday Night Live. So good for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Oh, also Kenan Thompson is going to be in this Home Alone reboot.
nice.
Oh.
Oh, good for him.
I wonder who he's.
And so is Ashlyn B and Ali Mackey.
Oh, Aisling B. I love her.
Yeah. Question for you guys before you sign off for the
Uh-huh.
day.
What's up?
Who wins, Kevin McCallister or the Predator?
Oh, freaking Kevin
The Predator.
McCallister.
No, dude, the Predator, dude.
I don't know, man. Kevin McCallister's pretty.
I think
ruthless.
the thing about Kevin McCallister is I think that he would not be able to fight the Predator because it would scare the shit out of him. He
I
is
know, he's
still a
gotten pretty
child.
brave.
He couldn't face the furnace at first. Like, no,
Yeah,
dude.
and then by the end of it, he was like,
He'll fight the Predator, and then the Predator will take off its helmet, and he'll be like, nope, that's it. It's over.
Or he'll be like, I don't know who this guy is, but he's not getting inside my house, and paint cans to the head. Like,
At the end of the day, both of these characters kill for fun.
This is true.
So
Kevin
kill for
McCallister
sport.
didn't actually kill anybody, though.
he tried to.
He was just trying to keep them out of his house.
He set a man
If
on
they
fire.
get like brain aneurysms later, I think we can say that's on him.
It's on them for breaking and entering, and he defended his house.
Ah,
man. He was
okay.
defending his
Okay. There are ways to defend yourself that don't involve paint cans to the head.
But yeah,
Great.
Predator wins, but they're both ruthless killers. Goodness,
is too
Gabby.
much. Too
I'm
much.
learning some things about Gabby today.
It's just a slapstick Christmas movie. I think we're reading way too into this.
Spent the last 45 minutes justifying neglecting a child and attempted murder.
No, I was saying that it was possible, like in terms of like the world and like how I think about or like how like their conditions were that morning. It was possible that they would forget a kid when
It
there's
wasn't even
11.
that bad. Like, who cares if their kid gets left behind? They were in a rush. It's fine.
I didn't say that. I was saying that it's in the realm of possibilities. It was possible.
To
Like
forget a whole ass child.
when you have 11 of them and they were all running around like crazy people.
A whole ass
and
child.
they did a head
I'm
count.
just saying, you
and
have
the number was
teachers
right
who
for the
deal
head
with
count.
kids in class sizes that are much bigger than that, and they keep track of their kids. In
Yeah, 'cause they
elementary
have
school,
them
we had to like line up,
room,
and they had to count us all
they
out, and they had to make sure we were all there, and they managed that, Gabby.
Yeah,
And
but
they
not
were
when they
getting
were
paid for
ready
that shit.
stuff.
But like, we
would
weren't even their kids.
we would leave for like field trips like early, but also like I said,
This is just
in
you.
like marching band, we would lose, and we were teenagers. Like we could keep track of things. We would lose somebody at some point all the time.
Ain't nobody worried about teenagers. They're fine. This was a kid, little white boy in Chicago.
All I'm saying is it was in the realm of possibility. I wasn't saying that these are great parents.
Also, I don't
wasn't
know
saying-
how it happens because I haven't seen the others, but he gets lost a second time.
Yeah, at that point, okay, now
Oh.
we can talk about your bad parents. But like
I'm sorry, you lose your child in
but
another
also
country once.
he doesn't get left behind. He gets on the wrong plane by accident.
How did they let him do that?
Because they didn't learn to watch their kid.
Before
That's
2001,
true.
when you had to like show and double show where you were going all the time. You could
Yes,
just
before
wander.
2001, people didn't watch their kids at airports.
It's true.
No, I'm talking about like it was like it was probably easier before 2001 to get on the wrong flight.
Yeah. But, not if you have parents who
Care about you? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Anyway,
At
audience.
that point, this family should be investigated. But like before that, also like what I wanted to know is why Child Protective Services wasn't at this family's house. Like you left your child.
Audience, watch out for Gabby. Also,
Oh my God.
thank you for listening to all of that. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you guys have any final thoughts you wanted to give?
Nah, I'm good.
Cool. I think we
Wait, did we say whether or not we liked this movie at the end? Like what we thought about it?
we can. I mean, it seems like Colin didn't really rock with it, but you like it.
I do like it. It's great.
Dallas, how do you feel?
Honestly, I don't think that. Like, I agree with what you said earlier. I don't see why people love this movie so much. It's not like great. It's good. It's entertaining. I honestly don't really like it much until like Heist kind of starts because the family's terrible and I just kind of hate them.
Yeah.
Harry and Marv are funny. Kevin is just, oh my God, I can't stand him. But over time, I start to hate him less because he's not just constantly antagonizing his family.
He wasn't
But yeah,
really
it's all
antagonizing
right.
his family. He's just being a brat.
I didn't say he was terrorizing them. He's antagonizing them. That's what he does to everyone.
But they were antagonizing back. Like they were all being horrible to each other.
Yeah, the whole family's trash. We've established that. It's a family full of garbage. But yeah, the movie's cool. I'd say like it's above average Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's decent. Anyway, thanks again, audience, for listening to our argument about whether or not Kevin is a psychopath. Let us know in the comments what side you fall on for that, and we'll know who to put on a watch list. Thank you,
Stop it.
Crown. Thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon and I, for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thank
So
you.
many absolutes.
There's so many what?
You're just dealing in so many absolutes with that statement.
To me, where you at? You're just gonna let that one go, huh?
What?
What is the
Have a golden opportunity to make a Star Wars reference, and you're just gonna let it go.
Ah,
You
I
just-
missed the entire moment.
I didn't know what
that's
you're
okay.
talking
Dang
about.
it.
Gabby
you go
said
get-
that Dallas was dealing in absolutes.
Oh, only Siths steal in absolutes.
Thank you.
Freaking
Okay,
nerd.
let's keep going.
Man, what was that? Oh yeah, thank you to me for editing and putting us on YouTube and
Making this podcast possible.
Yeah.
In general.
trying to rein us in to the best of your ability. Kind of got off the rails, but we always do. It's fun. Audience,
It's just shit kidding. Holy chaos, Batman.
Holy chaos, Batman. Colin, thank you for having empathy and seeing the fact that Kevin is a terrifying child.
Of
God.
course.
Thank you for acknowledging war crimes when you see them.
Oh, absolutely.
Gabby, thank you for letting me know I got to watch out for you in the streets.
Bro, you been new.
You should have known that already.
What's the thing is, like, I knew that Gabby was a psychopath when she was a kid because she detailed that when we talked about it before, but like I didn't know that she still
So
was
many
pretty
of us,
cool with
okay? Just
war
run
crimes.
rampant. I wouldn't do that now, probably.
Probably. Gabby's just gonna yeet an iron at somebody's face. Anyway.
A hot iron. It's gotta be hot.
Gotta be hot. Audience, if you want to talk to us about Home Alone, Terrible Families, Christmas, etc., you can find us on the medias at Twitter, y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr, Creative Differences Podcast, and Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC. If you want to argue with me about whether or not Kevin is garbage, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at A King Named Simba.
If you want to just acknowledge how great this Christmas movie is, you can find me, Gabby, on Instagram at Stegosoria.
You could talk to me about this movie. I'd rather you didn't. There's so many other things we could talk about. But if you want to talk to me about things, you can find me on Twitter at DuckMcGuck.
I'm kind of like, Gabby, don't take this the wrong way.
Oh my God, you're going to say something horrible.
I love this already.
No. Like, there's a portion of me that's a little disappointed that this is the one you showed up to because I had a Twitter name ready for you.
Oh, dang it.
But then you showed up and Demi's already said something, so I can't say it's for her either.
Well, you can tell us off mic what it was.
Yeah.
Or you can just tell us on mic so that the audience knows what it was going to be.
I don't think they deserve it.
I think
What
why
do you
would the audience deserve it? What did they do,
Well,
Colin?
that's the
definitely
thing,
deserve it.
right?
They
You
watched-
only get it when someone's not here to make up for the fact that someone's not here.
We got 200 views this last time. They deserve
the
it.
audience,
That's because we're great.
If the
But,
audience
like-
listened to all of this, they definitely deserve it.
Fine.
And honestly, now we're pumping it up too much anyway. But
Just say it.
I was just gonna say they could find you on Twitter at WetAssBandit.
Ooh, yes. Oh, that's good.
Terrible. I
I
hate
love
it.
that so much.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Oh, God, I hate it.
All right, it's been different. Bye.
Bye.